Today, I will be talking about race, and the two time periods I chose are pop and social practice. The pop art movement started out in Britain and in the United States in the mid to late 1950s. Pop art consists of popular images from comic books, advertisements, and other objects. Many say pop art is very similar to Dada. Pop art was mostly started by New York artists such as Roy Lichtenstein, James Rosenquist, Claes Oldenburg, and Andy Warhol. These artists are known as the pioneers of the pop art movement. Something they all have in common is that they drew on images that were very popular already. Pop art is a style that uses bold colors and words with black outlines around images and words. This form of art was designed for a mass audience to get people involved, interested, and thinking. According to Artifactor, pop art was the art of popular culture. It was the visual art movement that characterized a sense of optimism during the post-war consumer boom. It included different styles of painting and sculpture from various countries, but what they all had in common was an interest in mass media, mass production, and mass culture. On the other hand, social practice is an art medium that focuses on engagement through human interactions and social discourse. This form of art is meant to bring people and communities together to create a change, whether it's political or social. When it comes to art, dealing with race, there are many different kinds of artists that deal with things that are going on around the world, whether it is present day or in history. And usually these pieces, whether they are paintings, pictures, or even sculptures, they all have one thing in common, and they all bring people together at the end of the day. The first pop artist that I will be talking about is Andrew Warhol. He is a very famous pop artist who was born on August 6, 1928 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Many say that he was one of the leading figures in the visual art movement, also known as pop art. Andy Warhol does a large variety of work, including photography, painting, silk screening, film, and also making sculptures. He grew up in a working class family, and Andy ended up becoming a very wealthy artist in his time. Andy graduated college in 1949 with his bachelor's degree in fine arts. He moved to New York City to become a commercial artist, and this is the same time he got rid of the A in his last name and just made it Warhol instead of Warhola. In 1962, Warhol made the very iconic painting of the Campbell's soup can. It got everybody talking. That piece is what brought Warhol and pop art to life. This piece right here is known as Race Riot by Andy Warhol and was done in 1964. It is an acrylic and silk screen painting. The photo was originally taken by a man named Charles Moore for Life magazine in 1963. The picture was taken in the spring of 1963 in Birmingham, Alabama. In the South, during this time, especially in Alabama, there was a lot of segregation being practiced with the whole civil rights movement, where black citizens were looking for equality. According to Warhol essays, the photo shows a police dog straining at a leash held by two police officers, intent on sinking its teeth into the buttocks of a black man who appears to be trying to escape as a semicircle of peaceful protesters look to the other way. Warhol covered the image with red, white, and blue, which just happened to be the same colors of the United States flag, to show that this is what our country is looking like at that time. Even though this piece right here was made in 1964, recently it was auctioned off in New York on May 13th, 2014 for about $62,885,000 US. Another well-known pop artist is a man named Milton Ernest Robert Rauschenberg, who was born October 22nd, 1925 in Port Arthur, Texas. Robert was an American painter and graphic artist. Robert has made over 900 pieces during his time. This specific piece right here by Robert was made in 1970 and is called Signs. This piece is a screen print collage basically showing all of the major events that happened in the previous decade. The lower left corner of the piece shows an astronaut, and that symbolizes Buzz Aldrin being one of the first people to take part of the moon landing in 1969. Around the astronaut are pictures of John F. Kennedy, who was killed in 1963, his brother Robert Kennedy, and also Martin Luther King Jr., who were both killed in 1968. According to the art story, other images surrounding the astronaut portray urban violence, the Vietnam War, and the peace vigil, all descriptions of the tumult of the 1960s. The collage visually enhances and reflects the chaos of this period. Rick Lowe is an American artist known for his social practice work. He was born in 1961 in Alabama. Rick Lowe attended Columbus College before transferring to Texas Southern University. Lowe is mostly known for a project he has started in Houston, Texas called Project Row Houses. According to Project Row Houses is a community-based art and culture nonprofit organization in Houston's northern 3rd Ward, one of the city's oldest African American neighborhoods. PRH shifts the view of an art from traditional studio practice to a more conceptual base of transforming the social environment. In an interview with MacFound, Rick Lowe talked about how he uses these houses to support the people in the community. He lets single mothers live here rent-free for a year or two until they get back on their feet, just so they can support their family. The art of social practice has evolved throughout the years. In today's social practice, you see more artists building houses just like Rick Lowe to help a community get back on their feet and bring people together. It is a new way of art, and it has helped people tremendously. Something that I found to be very interesting is pop art in general. They use images that are already popular and images that have already been seen by everyone all across the world, and they add their own little twist to it, and just that little twist could end up changing the whole meaning of the image.